Guys, I can't contain anymore. I want to talk about this. We need to talk about this Batman short. Because I don't know if I could find much wrong with it. So remind me that I didn't write the whole name. Batman, the Broken Promise. Broken Promise. Holy hell. Like any like aspect of it, I was loving every second of it. Art style. I even like the whole like shaky cam. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like, especially in the beginning, they had that like this like shaky cam like feel to it, like as they're panning around.
The short is called Batman Broken Promise. It's an animated film. And it's done by Stephen Trumble Animation. And this is what amazes me is this guy's got 6.4K subscribers on his YouTube channel. He drops this relatively recently. I believe it was dropped in April 26th, and he's already got over 170,000 views on it. But he used Batman, so he can't profit off of this.
Right.
Any profits that he does are going to go towards DC because they own the character. Now it's a very good short. There's like I have two minor issues with it. That's just two minor ones. My heaviest praise for this is the villain that is the introduced villain is Arnold Weskler. And Weskler is the ventriloquist created in '88 by Wagner and Grant during their really good run on Batman. And it's just great to see that he didn't use like a standard mainline character. And that's my minor point is that just how at the end they bring somebody else in. And it's just a little disappointing. You see how they framed it, but it's like, man, this would have just been a really nice set piece for just one villain. It didn't need that double cast that they so often seem to want to do in a clean story. So
I thought it was done like the villains, like how they stacked them was really beautifully done. I was thinking like, oh, who's because the woman's talking about her boss. I'm like, okay, who's the boss? Who's the boss? So I knew something was going to, happen and change there, but
I was totally expecting Black Mask, man.
Yeah. At first I didn't really know. And then when he finally showed up, I just thought, wow, like that was cool. And I love the double cross in it. That was like perfectly done. And there was 3 lines that stuck out to me that I didn't want to forget. But there was a part where Batman's like, where is he? And it was very like, this was like a Christian Bale, like Christian Bale's, where are the other drugs going in this Batman voice, like I immediately thought of that. And then when ventriloquist runs out of the room, the doll says, get me out of here, dummy. And I just thought that was like really cool, snarky writing. And then,
that's actually just the character. That's
no, I know it was,
and that's how Scarface talks to Arnold.
Especially the Batman animated series, this pulls a lot from that. There's a lot of homages. Well, I mean,
the ending of it is the intro to the Batman animated series.
Well, no, there was an homage to it at the end. But no, it pulls a lot from that and the Nolan, and it was kind of a modernized take. Scarface was wearing Adidas clothes, and I'm like, wow, okay. He's not a old mobster. He's like a Russian mobster now, so...
Yeah, it was just really good. I don't know, like I just thought this guy did everything so well, sort of paying homage where he needed to. The red and the blue throughout, especially when Harvey comes in, like Harvey Two-Face looks so good, like how he's drawn. And
the contrast colors in that end, the whole end sequence is very well done.
Mm.
Oh, I know.
Fighting photography is really good too.
Yes, but since I didn't realize we were going to spoil the fact that it's Two-Face that comes in. But that was a little bit of a disappointment. I thought the Scarface ventriloquist could have handled the whole arc, and you just could have made it a 2-bit politician is pulling his strings. I don't think you needed to bring Two-Face into it. Just to be a physics nerd, when Batman uses his glove to draw the silver dollar into his hand, silver is minorly magnetic, like very weakly magnetic. So it wouldn't have gone to a magnet. So that's like, but that's also a minor bit in my back of my head. That's also that's kind of one of those moments where it's, the rule of cool. It worked, and it worked so well. And especially with how they played it during the fight where it gets knocked loose. and
Yeah.
and Harvey kind of pauses as it's rolling around. That kind of excuses it. So that's one of those things where writing, sometimes you kind of got to bend the rules to make things follow the rule of cool, but this did it very well.
Dude, the tension in that scene alone was like, you could have cut that like in half. Like just how close up they are, like on Harvey. It's like basically an over the shoulder of and like focused on Harvey's eyes, and like you almost like could see them like want to twitch down because he wants to look at it, but he almost doesn't want to like prove Batman right that he needs this coin to make his decisions.
That he surrendered. Yeah.
Oh, he did. It was so perfect. It was so perfect. And Snigger or in Zombie, I want you guys to give your feedback on it too, because I do have a question that I do eventually want to ask. But
I will just say Zombies is going to be wrong, but go ahead, kid.
I love the animation for the most part. My only criticism was there's a few stilted bits here and there, but I mean, it's to be expected from a fan animation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still awesome. It's a lot better than a lot of the other stuff out there. I love the art style. It was very comic book. I really enjoyed that. The story, really enjoyed it. Like the whole contrast in colors you guys brought up earlier, that was really cool. I really enjoyed like Harvey's like grotesque half and how they would sometimes focus on each half of his face depending on what he was saying.
Yep.
Kind of showing the conflict inside.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. And then, yeah, that whole fight at the end was just like the way they're trading punches and Batman was constantly disarming his pistol, like unloading the chamber, disarming it. It was just perfect.
A lot of attention to detail.
Chef's kiss, baby.
Yeah, it was good. And like the sound design and voice acting, like usually in stuff like this, they're not that great, or like these 2-bit like voice actors that are like hired from Fiverr or something, and they're just not that great. But everyone's part was played beautifully. Extremely impressed with it.
There was soul put into this production.
Oh yeah, you can tell it was done by a true fan.
Call back to last episode.
Yeah.
No, the voice acting was good. I do remember the first time, I heard Batman. I was like, the dude's doing a good job. But I also grew up with Batman the Animated Series, so I have a high threshold for what's fantastic. He did a great job. Harvey, the first time he spoke, I got flashes of the guy who did the spoofs on the Nolan movies, where it's like, Harvey Dess, can we trust him? Like, that's all I could hear. I was like, holy crap.
See, I thought the guy that did the voice for Scarface and Arnold, that was Arnold especially was inspired. The little tremor in his voice as he's speaking. It was just little soft touches like that were just excellent. I really appreciated it. And kind of going back to what Space was saying, the animation, the use of like simple matte shots for Batman, where it's just a matte and they kind of use the camera to pan. It was really good. And that's one of the things as an amateur animator, showing how you can take just a still and make the still come alive with just a couple of little after effects and just a pan camera shot. They did a really good job.
No, the first, I think, I don't know, 10 seconds of the short, the 2D animation, I was like, it's very bulky. It's very Then I realized it was like this very stylized version, and they incorporated this stylized 2D animation and they moved it. Like, it really sings in the action scenes. Like the fight choreography, the fight scenes, seeing Batman in the shadows, those were dead on.
Oh yeah,
the way they handled Scarface, the voice acting and the visuals in like the story were perfect. I did like incorporating a secondary villain. The whole time I was waiting for it. But yeah, it treated all of the characters with respect. It made Batman a beast. It showcased Scarface for who he was. And they did a fun, like, version of Two-Face that was like a combination between like kind of like the oh god, who was the guy who did the Batman Forever?
Schumacher.
Like with the, because the black light. They did it,
Yeah.
they did a great incorporation with that, with making him feel gritty and damaged, but that sense of a lawmaker who was twisted.
Yeah.
Like they covered the characters, I think, perfectly, how they were handled. Batman had so many scenes in that where he didn't speak. You were listening to like Scarface and this enforcer for Two-Face talking, and the whole time, like you're just like, this is Scarface. They even added the scene I remember from the old Batman animated series where she looks at Arthur, and then
Yep.
he goes, "Hey, why are you looking at him? I'm the one talking." And you're like, "Oh, it's so good. It's so good." But it was this weird amalgamation of modern time. Like, get rid of the old like 50s whatever mobster outfit, put him in Adidas clothes, make him a drug dealer, and then especially when you had the start with the DA, I was like, oh god, they're going into modern politics, division between red and blue, and that was the setup. When
Right.
you get the reveal of Two-Face, that he was like, okay, if you want to go red and blue, black and white, left or right, 50-50,
Mhm.
I'm going to poison half of these drugs. And it made so much sense when you incorporated Two-Face.
Yeah.
And it was these subtleties, and it was, and again, like I get what Aldous is saying about focusing on more than one villain, which is a modern trope. But this is probably an independent creator who loves the source materials. They absorb all of them. Again, they're pulls from the comics, Schumacher, the animated series, in a modern time. They brought these things in, and they're like, I have one shot. So I'm going to pull two characters that meld together that do not necessarily get a lot of screen time. I'm going to put them up. I'm going to make a story based upon that. And I'm going to make Batman the focus and a complete badass. And it was pretty fantastic.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like he's the creator of this is he's like a package deal. He is a true fan. He is a wonderful, an amazing artist and a brilliant storyteller. Because like I was saying earlier, you could probably put this short on mute and still get most of the story beats out of all of this. Like again, you even said it, Snake. I believe Batman doesn't even talk all that much in this. Like he does say some things, but like there's a lot of moments where he's just standing there looking and like listening, and you would probably get most of what's happening. And especially, I mean, with all the other characters, because like even like little bits of like animation of like the different characters' eyes being shifty or whatever, like it's so well done. There, even when after when Scarface is laying on the ground, like there's a point I think where either Two-Face or Batman hits the ground, and the way the shot is framed, it looks like Scarface is looking at the character even though he's dead.
It was Batman.
It was Batman, right? Yeah. And I just thought like, wow, that right there, subtle but powerful. Like I feel like Batman, like that's how just like Batman feels in some way, is like just these things haunting him all the time, and there's someone watching right there. Like it was, dude, it was so good. I just could not believe